Okay, this is a continuation of a conversation about using the uh, the PSoC 6 artificial intelligence evaluation kit with the Deep Craft Studio, and then eventually bringing it back to program the chip to run our machine learning models. So there's two specific situations where we have to interface with our device. The first is to get data in, and the last video showed us how we can we can burn a certain version of firmware directly using a low-level tool that will allow us access to all of these different sensors on the chip. That's a dedicated piece of firmware. We can connect it to our computer when we run Deep Craft Studio, and Node Explorer will see our board over here, and we'll be able to take that data. We can use that data then to train our model. Now, the other end of the spectrum is after we've done all of our training, we are going to want to take the code and take it back to our device and run it on the device. So let's go to this particular version of our particular project. This is a keyword detector project, and what it has is a set of data that someone has loaded in and labeled so that all of the training data has been labeled, and it's now usable for us to train a model. That is, here is the word for, here is the down, here is the house, spoken by many different speakers with different intonations, and captured a great deal of data. And then they ran through the preprocessor step. By the way, these are all detailed in the videos by the Deep Studio folks. And then we do the training, and that's where we're actually going to go ahead and pick a model and use the data to actually train a machine learning model. Once we've trained the machine learning model, we can then we can create code from that. So once we've trained the models, they can appear over here. The medium balanced is the one that came with the project. I trained this medium speed. But if we were to go here, for example, and we were to double click on this model, we'll see that the code gen is now selected. This allows us to create code for our device. So we have to select the architecture, select the device, and then we can go ahead and generate code. What that will do is create this brand new directory here called Infineon, and it'll give us a code generation report, but more specifically, it'll get a model.c and a model.h. These are the actual code that we're going to add to our project that will run on our actual device. So again, the videos will show you how to get to this point, run the code gen, and then get to these models. Now, once we have those, we're going to get out of Deep Craft Studio, because now we're going to take those and put them into our device. To do that, we're going to do that with the Eclipse IDE. That's this one right here. We're going to open it up. And it's a really valuable tool for us to then build our firmware from various files, and then download it to our device. So I already have something connected here. So I went in, and the neat thing is I can actually go in and say File, New, and then this, and this will, if I select my device, let's go ahead and do that and hit next. This will let me bring a number of templates in that are very, very useful, and specifically in the machine learning space. So what I want to do is I can deploy an audio model. If I select this and create a new project, it will give me all of the framework so that I can use my model.c and model.h files. Now, I've already done that, so I'm not going to do that right now because I have that right here. And here is my project. Here's main. This is a framework that's going to take speech input, pass it to the model, and then return our predictions. And notice the models directory. Here's where we'd place our .c and .h files. Now, once we have all of that set up, we can select this and go ahead and build the project. And that will build our project using r.c, our model.c and model.h from the DeepCraft Studio. And then it's already also set up down here. By the way, if you're an Eclipse user, you might get tempted to go up here to project and to run, but we can just do it right down here. I can build the project and I can launch my project from right here. So this will, again, build the code and download it to my device. Now, because I hit debug, it's going to stop right at the start of the execution of my code. Well, my code's downloaded now, so I can actually I don't need to be connected to this device to have the code run. Okay. Oh, you know what I did wrong. This is very important. I'm glad this actually happened. If I were to look at my device, I need to move my USB-C cable from the USB connector closer to the power back to the connector furthest away from the power. Because what we're doing now is we're not getting data from our device, we're actually programming our device. So I'm going to have to do this again. Let's click it again. This time we're set up with it connected to the port where it's going to actually be able to flash the device. So it's doing that now for us and programming our device. And once programmed, it's going to stop here at the top. And now I can go up here and click resume, and the device will be running my code. Now we might want to look at the output of all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and open a terminal window. And I'm going to select the terminal window. I need to, however, set it up correctly. So I'm going to go, let's connect our serial port to 115.200. And I'm going to set my terminal up to and echo. And I'm going to make this bigger. Let's bring it down and make it bigger. And I think the right answer is about 42. That's too big, sorry. Let's go ahead and bring it down a little further. And maybe a little bit more. And now I can see what my model is predicting for the inputs. So these are the labels of the data that I trained. This is what it's predicting it is. And this is some volume settings for my model. So let me go over and try bird. Dog. Happy. And my problem is I think that I don't have the volume set correctly, but oh, there's happy. It takes a little while for it to get here, but notice my happy appears because, and I'm not patient enough for it to get through the model. And so this is going to now predict from these words what might be coming through. So that's the complete both early connections to the device and the connections to the device. Now, what I cannot do is take this and take it right over to Deep Studio and try to bring in more sensor data, because it will not recognize that the device exists. It only recognizes the device exists when I have downloaded the firmware through my Modus tool programming, that hex file that's special as far as streaming data. So that gives you some idea how this all works, and hopefully you can be successful at connecting to the hardware.